April 4th, 1945. The Allied armies were racing across Germany. The weather was warm. The trees were blooming. It felt like spring. But as the jeeps of the U.S. 4th Armored Division drove down a quiet country road near the town of Gotha, they hit a wall. Not a wall of concrete, but a wall of smell. It was a stench so thick, so overpowering, that soldiers gagged. It smelled like rotting meat, like burning hair, like hell itself. General George S. Patton was riding in his command car. He sniffed the air. He thought it was a chemical factory, or maybe a glue factory processing dead horses. He called his officers. "What is that smell? Find out what it is." A few hours later, a jeep raced back to headquarters. The officer inside was pale, shaking. He looked like he had seen a ghost. He reported to Patton. "General, you have to come see this. You won't believe it." Patton, always curious, drove to the site. It was a place called Ohrdruf. It was the first Nazi concentration camp liberated by the U.S. Army on the Western Front. What Patton saw inside those gates changed him forever. The man known as Old Blood and Guts, the man who loved war, the man who had seen thousands of dead bodies on the battlefield, walked behind a shed and physically vomited. But after the sickness came the rage, a cold, terrifying rage. He didn't just want to liberate the prisoners. He wanted justice. He looked at the clean, tidy town nearby. He looked at the German civilians looking out of their windows, pretending nothing was happening. And he gave an order that made history. Round them up. Bring the mayor. Bring his wife. Bring the baker. Bring the butcher. They say they didn't know. Well, they are going to know now. This is the story of the liberation of Ohrdruf, the day George Patton forced a German town to walk through hell at gunpoint.
And the tragic, shocking suicide that followed. To understand Patton's rage, we have to see what he saw. Ohrdruf wasn't a massive death camp like Auschwitz. It was a sub-camp of Buchenwald. But it was a horror show. When the American tanks of the 4th Armored Division rolled up to the barbed wire fences, the SS Arts had already fled. But before they ran, they tried to clean up the evidence. They machine-gunned the prisoners who were too sick to walk. They piled the bodies in a shed. They covered them with quicklime to dissolve the flesh.